Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. I hope everyone is doing blessed. It is the 18th of August. I almost said April there for some reason, but 18th of August, fresh new week. So let's see what the markets have for us potentially today and the rest of this week. So before we get into the charts, I just want to make sure that you guys know that the content on this channel is for educational and informational purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing shared in my video should be considered financial, investment, or trading advice. Trading and investing involves risk, and you should always conduct your own research before making any financial decisions. Any past performances discussed does not guarantee future results as well. You are always responsible for your own financial decisions. So, with that being said, let's get straight into the daily market outlook. And just before, let me double check that the screen is on. Perfect. Just before we do get into it, guys, I think we're literally like six people off. Six people off my 500 subscriber goal. Let me just double check. Four people off. So we have four people off the goal of 500 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, yes, I've got the pre-ans because I would appreciate if we can get that to 500 by the end of this week. That would be amazing. So make sure that you guys, if you don't subscribe, do press subscribe and have your notification buttons turned on. And then let's get straight into this daily market outlook. So as always, we're going to start off with looking at the news going into today and the rest of the week. We've obviously got nothing today in regards to red folder. Tomorrow we've got heavy Canadian dollar news at 2:30. And then obviously the rest of the week we have quite heavily red folder news as well. But let's just focus on what's on today, which is nothing. And then going into tomorrow, pretty much nothing apart from the Canadian dollar news. So that's pretty clean slate to start the week. Now, looking at the charts as we speak, if you look at where we're currently at, let's have a look here. You can see that the market is reacting from this daily demand candle. This daily demand candle, this is our daily higher low, daily higher high. So we are reacting from there and we are getting that movement away. If we drop down to the 4, can we see what is happening as of right now? Well, for me personally, if you focus on a trend, you'll be able to notice that, of course, and whoever's doing this, you are right. This was a pullback into this area here, didn't quite fill in. And then we obviously have this mini pullback, and then we have this big break. So, the 4 hour for me is, yes, reacting from this demand and in a more of alignment with the daily uptrend as well, which means that we should be able to see potentially this going into further ahead. But we did react at this 1 hour supply with inside this range as well. So for me personally, what I'm interested in now is, waiting to see reaction from here, which as you guys can see, going into Friday, we was solely reacting from this area. And obviously now we just had pretty much, if this finishes in an hour and 5, a nice engulfing candle away from the dollar as well. So let me just quickly look at the 1 hour. Yeah, everything's moving pretty sweet as of right now. So it'll be interesting to see what else. But for me, this demand area is in control at the moment because of simple facts. Let's mark it out. Just technical structure. You can see that we broke this 4 hour here. Even though we was reacting out this 1 hour supply, and that could have been where we melted away. But yeah, let's see how we go on. What I expect the market to do is, either on the high time frames, if you want to wait for more confluences, wait for this to get broken if you want, and then you can look to participate in longing the dollar. So that's what I've got for the dollar today. Going into EU, let's have a look. Going into EU on the daily time frame, pretty much the same scenario, but vice versa. We're in this in this daily supply here, this our daily range. Dropping to the 4, what can we see? Well, what we can see is market obviously has this range from here to here. Market's pulled back into this demand area, which we gave out last week, but it's failed to go and create a new higher high. It's failed to go and create a new higher high. It's come up into this supply, and now we're getting this engulfing candle away. So this could tell me now that this could be the catapult to then short EU, and that does align with the dollar. So we've got an hour left on this 4 hour candle. If this finishes as an engulfing candle, I will be looking for a retracement into that 4 hour supply area. If we do finish with a nice engulfing candle, potentially. And again, if that aligns with the dollar. So that's what we keep an eye on. If we look at the 1 hour, what can I see? Pretty much just the same scenario. You've got 1 hour trend slowed, and then we've had this movement down. So yeah, simple as from a 4 hour, if we can finish the 1 hour like this, I'll be looking to, short from this area if it makes sense on the dollar as well. So I'm pretty much, yeah, certain that GU is in the exact same scenario. Of course, GU is not as clean looking as EU. We did take out this high, but we are still in this daily range, daily lower high, daily lower low. Pardon me. So market, obviously, as you can see, has this trend that's going on. We pull back to this demand area, and then we should have gone and created a new 4 hour higher high. Failed to do that so far, slowed down, volume slowed down, and now we're getting this engulfing candle away. So again, same scenario, can we see the market potentially, what is this doing? Potentially be where the market reacts from. We would, we react out of this 4 hour supply. So same thing is, can we see pretty much this 4 hour supply, if it finishes as an engulfing candle, can we see in the next hour, can we see that happen? So again, self-explanatory, exactly the same as EU, like that. One confirmation is, do you want to wait for the 4 hour candle to finish? Or of course, if you're happy to obviously participate, if the 1 hour candle, retraces, then obviously you can do that. But that's up to you guys, of course, to make that decision. Now, AU and NZUSD, what's going on? Well, pretty simple. You have this daily range, daily high is, daily low is here as well. We've been in this uptrend, and then we had this engulfing sell scenario candle here from this 4 hour supply area. So let's drop down to the 4 and let's see what's going on. Well, as you guys can see, 4 hour supply area that we had unmitigated. We obviously come up, and now we've had this movement away. Yes, we're reacting out of this 4 hour demand area, but again, if it aligns with the dollar, which the dollar is potentially looking for longs, then of course, we'll be looking for shorts on AUDSD. Now, because of this big scenario here, I would have wanted it to come back into this 4 hour supply. We didn't quite get that. We've just been melting away. We are in this 1 hour supply as of right now. So of course, if the dollar's going to move, then AU will move as well. And you can see the markets took these highs, come back into this 1 hour supply, took out these highs here, and now it's moving away. So you can see the market is moving away. We've had this 1 hour engulfing candle here, didn't quite tap into that, but filled in the rest of this imbalance. So yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see. I'll be waiting for a 4 hour candle to see how the 4 hour finishes on this one. GU and EU for me are better looking than AU at the moment as well. NZ, let's see what NZ is doing. NZ's not quite as there as thingy is. So daily time frame, daily lower high, daily lower low at this uptrend. We've now officially broken pretty much this low here. So if you look, you can see the market has broken this low here. So obviously what I was expecting was either of these pullbacks which we talked about last week. So I don't think, obviously we didn't get that deep retracement into this, but I was expecting a minimum of this area here if it aligned with what the dollar was doing. But yeah, we've not quite had that. So I'm not interested in NZUSD at the moment because I think there's better looking pairs that align more with the dollar. Now going into USD CAD, let's look at the daily. I think we've said this quite a few times where we've mentioned the fact that the USD CAD hasn't had a bigger pullback into this like the dollar, because obviously the dollar is bullish and it's got a nice range, but USD CAD hasn't, retraced into this deeper imbalances and stuff. So, obviously the market's been moving away from this 4 hour if you look at the 4 hour trend, me personally, with what I would like to see, let me just get rid of this. If the dollar's going to carry on bullish, I would like to see this demand area met. Of course, one thing I can understand is, yes, we're in this area of demand here, which means that the market could move away from here. So yeah, we could move away from here. But if we obviously dip below, I'll be wanting to fill in these little imbalances and then potentially make that move away from here. And again, let's look at what the dollar is doing right now. The dollar is bullish, so that does align with market potentially moving away from here. So yeah, man, that'll be something to obviously keep an eye out on. And as you guys should be able to see, we have this as our 4 hour break. So simple. USD CHF, not as simple, not been liking the way that it's even if I've been catching, the accurate supply zones and demand, I just don't like the way that the market's moving. So I'm not going to talk about that as of right now. And then USD Japanese yen. Let's have a look at the Japanese yen basket first and see what is going on. As you guys can see, we've got this daily range, this daily higher low, daily higher high. Go to the Japanese yen. We have, of course, let's just go to the daily. We have this range, but also this bullish range. So for me, pretty much the same scenario. They dipped into this demand area, which the Japanese yen has done the same. So it's just going to be interesting to see what is going to happen with USD Japanese yen. If we go to the 4 hour and just focus on what is potentially going to happen. Well, as you guys can see, structure-wise, we have clear structure. We had this big impulsive move. Yes, we mitigated this supply, but as you guys can see, with this big impulsive move, we've broken these highs here, which potentially means that we could see the bullishness come in. So for me personally, I like the look of retracement and then potentially go and carry this on upwards. That's my main thought as of right now. As you guys can see, we have this 1 hour demand area that's mitigated. And then let me just drop down to the 1. The market hasn't quite tapped into that. We have created pretty much equal lows, but it's tapped into this area here. Am I interested in longing from here? No. No, I'm not interested in this personally. I don't like the look of it. And what I would have preferred to see was market dip into this imbalance or this demand and then make that move. So yeah, what I'd be waiting for personally is market to give us another break. So let's say the market gives us another break with the highs, then retrace, and then go and attack this if it makes sense with the dollar. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Dollar's moving nicely. So should be interesting. 55 minutes left on this candle. So yeah, man, let's see what happens for the rest of today. So other than that, guys, as always, I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you have an amazing week. So so far, obviously it's Monday. Just be patient. Just be, obviously understanding what you think can potentially happen, but just don't rush into certain stuff if you feel like it's unnecessary. Other than that, take care. God bless.